Good day, everyone. I'm Ivan Cremendoza from BSECE 3B. For today's discussion, for the subject ECE 23, Task 1, we will discuss about metadata. Prefix meta means an underlying definition or description. Metadata is data that provides information about other data or data about data. Metadata describes whatever piece data it's connected to, whether that data is a video, a photograph, web pages, content, or spreadsheets. Metadata summarizes basic information about data, which can make it easier to find, use, and reuse particular instances of data. Metadata ensures that we will be able to find data, use data, and preserve and reuse data in the future. Metadata makes it much easier to find relevant data. Reusing data often requires careful preservation and documentation of metadata. There are three types of metadata. Descriptive, used for discovery and identification, including like information as title, author, abstract, and keywords. Structural, it shows how information is put together, for example, from page order to chapters. Administrative, enables better resource management by showing such information as when and how the resource was created. There are two types of administrative metadata, are those that deal with intellectual property rights and preservation metadata, used to archive and preserve a resource. So, why metadata is important in transmitting or representing digital information, especially in everyday lives? Metadata serves a variety of purposes. With resource discovery is one of the most common. It can be compared to effective cataloging, which includes identifying resources, defining them by criteria, bringing similar resources together, and distinguishing among those that are dissimilar. It is also an effective means of organizing electronic resources, which is an important use given the growth in web-based resources. Typically, links to resources have been organized as lists and built as static web pages, with the names and resources hard-coded in HTML. A more efficient practice, however, is to use metadata to build these pages. For web purposes, the information can be extracted and reformatted through the use of software tools. Another use of metadata is as means of facilitating interoperability and integrating resources. Using metadata to describe resource enables its understanding by humans as well as machines. This permits the most effective levels of interoperability, or how data is exchanged among many systems with disparate operating platforms, data structures, and interfaces. In turn, it facilitates resource searches across the network. Metadata also facilitates digital identification via standard numbers that uniquely identify the resource the data defines. The metadata defines, I mean. Along these lines, another practice is to combine metadata so that it acts as a set of identifying data that differentiate objects or resources, supporting validation needs. Finally, metadata is an important way to protect resources and their future accessibility. It's a critical concern given the fragility of digital information and its susceptibility to corruption or alteration. For archiving and preservation purposes, it takes metadata elements that tracks the object's lineage and describe its physical characteristics and behavior so that it can be replicated in technologies in the future. So we have here examples on how metadata is important in our daily lives. IMEI, or International Mobile Equipment Identity. To know the IMEI of your SIM, you could dial asterisk number sign 06 number sign, or you could go to settings, locate for the system management, look for about phone. There you could find your IMEI number. Now, we will use the Loon algorithm to determine if this 15-digit IMEI number is valid. The Loon algorithm has a weighted pattern of 2121 and so on. We will multiply the number and the corresponding weight. But there is an exception. The two-digit is multiplied and the product is a two-digit number. We will add those two together. So let's add all the result. And if the sum ends in 0, therefore, the IMEI number is valid. So we have here 64. It does not end in 0. Therefore, we conclude that this is invalid. UPC or Universal Product Code. Here in the example, we have a 12-digit UPC, and we will multiply this to its corresponding weight, 3131 and so on. Unlike in the IMEI, if the product of digit and corresponding weight is a two-digit, we add those two together. So we have here, the two digits are not added together. Now we will sum up all the products. If the sum of all the products is divisible by 10, therefore we conclude that the UPC is valid. Well, we have here 100. Therefore, this UPC is valid because it's divisible by 10. So, as a summary of this report, metadata is data that provides other data or data about data. Metadata has three types: descriptive, structural, and administrative. Metadata serves a variety of purposes: resource discovery, facilitating interoperability and integrating resources, facilitates a digital identification via standard number, and preservation of resources. Invalidating the IMEI and UPC, even if we reverse its weighted pattern, 1212 and so on, 3131 and so on, the sum of all products would end in 0 or divisible by 10 if it is valid. That would be all. Thank you.